Right, so this is the big one. The atheists versus the theists. So I don't want to seem like I'm taking sides on this, but if I do, it's because obviously I have an opinion on the matter, but I do want to try and stay neutral throughout the course of this video. Obviously in the future it will come clear as to what side of the argument I am on. Right, so we have one group of people who believe something and are annoyed that you don't believe it, and one group of people who don't believe something and are annoyed that you do believe it. Right, so both sides have calm, logical sounding people, and both sides have, angry, illogical sounding people. There are fanatics for both sides of the argument, and we come to a sort of a crux really as to what do we believe, and do we want to get involved in this argument? Do we want to label ourselves either an atheist or a theist? No, I'm not talking about any specific religion or any specific atheist who has a problem with a specific religion as it goes. But there are lots of them out there, and I'm going to put forward a theory as to why everybody seems to be publicising this argument, and that is money. Throughout history, people have paid to see what they find interesting. So if you find people arguing interesting, you'll pay to see it. If you find it funny to mock people who are less intelligent than you, then generally money starts filtering out of your pockets and to the people who are doing the things that you want to do. There are certain institutions out there who make money, or which make money, and they don't want to stop making money. On both sides of the atheist argument and the theist argument, because as we know, science makes money. So does churches. Churches generally do make money. They take tithes. They send around collection pots. You never see a priest who's driving a crap car, generally, do you? But that's neither here nor there, because obviously you don't generally see scientists who aren't well paid unless they're doing independent studies, and generally people who can afford to do independent studies already have plenty of money to play around with. So what we're really talking about now is people squabbling over who gets to get all the money, for their thing. I mean, are we going to build more churches? Are we going to build more science museums? More laboratories? Are we going to build more mosques, or are we going to build more telescopes? Are we going to look into the theories as it goes from a theist's point of view, or are we going to look into the theories of the world as it comes through an atheist's point of view? When we say scientists, do we mean somebody who takes into account all of the facts, or do we mean somebody who takes into account only the natural world and things such as that, and takes sort of where we can't see this spiritual or theistic world? Do we then discount it completely? And obviously this is one of the things that we want to talk about today. So what do you think? Where do you think we come from? What do you think is the truth? Who do you think is right? I mean, we all have a right to have an opinion, of course. Otherwise, what's the point in being free and thinking people? But then we come to the question: do some people have better ideas than others? And I'm afraid we're going to have to agree that there are people who have better ideas than other people. But that doesn't necessarily mean that other people's ideas are invalid just because there's somebody who has, the biggest brain, as it were. The biggest moron on earth could be the one that figures out the truth. And we won't listen to him because we're too fixated on other stuff, on, the bright and shiny people. As opposed to looking at the little moron in the corner who's figured it all out and has it all sussed. It's generally the people with the most intelligent minds who struggle the most in this world. They're overthinking things. The old saying, "Ignorance is bliss." It can be. It really can be. So yeah, people were laughing at one another and shouting at each other and getting crazy over this debate and this argument. But I mean, is there ever really a way to prove either one has it correct? And unfortunately, unless we really go back there, there's always going to be apologetics, and there's always going to be arguments, and there's always be people trying to disprove one thing to the other. So what we have to agree is that everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So all you people out there shouting and squabbling and getting angry because, you know, your YouTube's infested with either Christians or Islamic people, or, you know, I don't know if Hindus do it too. No, I haven't seen too many Hindu propagandas and that, or Sikh propaganda, to be fair. And I see no Buddhist propaganda, but I don't look for that sort of thing, so I imagine it is out there. Or are we going to go from a scientific point of view, which obviously, once again, we can't always tell whether science is telling us the truth. Like, there's plenty of channels out there who will tell you that the science and the institutions of science are lying through their back teeth to you. I mean, I for one do believe that NASA's lied about a couple of things. I'm not jumping on Jeranism's bandwagon, I'm afraid. Sorry, buddy, but I think that we can't go certain places because of radiation belts and stuff like that. But I am not a scientist, so obviously my ideas, as the little moron in the corner, will be discounted because there's other shinier people out there who have other ideas. You know, can we not incorporate things like evolution into theism? Can we not incorporate all these ideas? I mean, can't we just get along, really? There are people from the atheism camp who believe that people are entitled to their own opinion. There's other people who believe that it's dangerous to believe nonsense. I mean, obviously, I too believe that it's dangerous to believe nonsense. But once again, I too believe that people have the right to believe and exist in the way that they wish to, because we are free, and we should be free. Right, so basically, what I want to say with this video is, stop squabbling the way you're squabbling. That's not how you get information. This isn't how you arrive at conclusions. If everybody's looking for reasons why the other person's wrong, you know, why don't theists look for the reasons why atheists are right? Why don't atheists look for the reasons why theists are right? Why don't we see if we can switch roles for a minute so we can understand where other people are coming from? You know, perhaps there is a conspiracy to do with theism, and it has been changed, and that's why it doesn't ring as true as it should. You know, perhaps the atheists are paid by the devil or that sort of stuff. You know, perhaps it is all just to do with money and views on YouTube. I mean, I don't really get any views, to be fair, but I still keep talking. Now, how do these people get all these views? You bastards. I just think that if we're ever gonna move forward as a people, we need to stop arguing so angrily at one another. You know, there's a guy that I watch who's a skeptic. You know, I've recently watched a couple of his videos that annoy me, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to completely, you know, log the guy off. I believe that we should counter every argument with a sort of a skepticism. And we shouldn't just accept stuff that is thrust in our face, and that comes from theism and science, both. So when it comes to the argument of theists versus atheists, we just need to find some common ground, and then we can all find out what the truth is. But as long as we're believing in silly things like lizard aliens ruling the planet and flat earths and, you know, police and moral things and army is a good thing and politicians are good things, and, you know, as long as we're letting our kids be taught by schools which teach nonsense, you know, teach you how to be a slave, teach you how to be a worker, we'll never get free of whatever it is that lies. We'll never see if there's a true God. We'll never see if, like, theism is a lie, because we'd be too busy surviving, just caught surviving, and that's what we're doing, and that's why people jump so crazily onto their arguments. So people will watch their YouTube channel. So please, watch my YouTube channel. You don't have to subscribe or anything like that. Just please, just stop this nonsense. This is all about money. Right, so there we have it. And yeah, I took some of your stuff as usual. Not as much as I used to take. What am I talking about? It's still the same. I just made myself a logo now, so it seems a bit more official. I wish I could get permission of certain people to use their stuff. Certain people that annoyed the living crap out of me for having copyright restrictions on certain things. I'm not saying, I should be able to broadcast your songs and get paid for them. I just think that I should be able to put certain speeches and certain music in my things without you guys stopping the Germans from seeing them. I'm actually have a little bit of German blood in me, not much. But, it's not like I hate the Germans. I kind of want them to hear my videos too. Not that anybody watches them or anyone listens. But hey, that's enough of me yammering for now. I'm out of here.
I wanna thank you for flying with us. We know you could've stayed home, just cried and cussed me, or your guns go off if it's time to bust me, or they tanks have time to rust.